The Zcam E2S6. After 2 weeks of using this camera, what are my thoughts of this? Stay tuned. So I've had this camera for 2 weeks now, and I've shot mostly exteriors with natural light and ambient. And the first time I started shooting this, I actually shot this for a YouTube video, and I did a little bit of lighting with that and see how the sample looks like. Now, I haven't dived into the camera, such as the resolutions, the variable frame rates, even the encoders. I've only used certain ones from 4K to even switching it up to the variable frame rates for those features, but not all of them yet. So I'm looking to dive into several different resolutions to see how they come out and how I can edit them and how they look at the end as far as the end product. Now, here's some samples I shot with more of the exterior shoot in an event that I came across randomly. Now, forgive me if the colors look a little off. I am not a colorist. I'm just learning to grade in Premiere. Normally, I hire colorists for bigger jobs of this nature, but because I am new to this camera, I am learning the camera, I'm learning the mistakes. I want to know what exactly I'm doing wrong and what I'm doing right. And I'm hoping that the more I use it out there prior to a client shoot, I can dial this in as much as I can. Granted, my camera is not fully supported with additional gear such as follow focus. I don't even have a rig for the camera yet. I don't even have a higher end monitor for this camera or even other types of lenses. Now, I paired this camera mostly with my Zeiss 50mm, and I used a Canon 17 to 40mm lens. I actually ended up coming across an event in Los Angeles, which was a lowrider event. And this was a real interesting way of using the camera, as I was able to use the different flavors of the camera from 4K, from shooting to slow-mo, changing up the variable frame rate, so that way I can see what kind of images I come across with. But because this is a more dynamic type of shoot, it was really hard to make sure to get that I wanted on the spot, because I'm constantly changing. As light is changing, the subject is changing, I have to move. It wasn't as smooth changing the camera. So changing the features in the camera made it so much more difficult. If you wanted to change aperture, if you wanted to change the white balance, things of that nature, or if you wanted to change lenses, it's very much fast-paced, and it's not really an ideal run and gun type of camera. But if you have a few moments here and there that you specifically want to shoot something and you want to change your aperture or shutter speed or look, make sure to take the time and change it. That is one thing if you're shooting live events, is that you have to choose a specific setting that to stick with as much as you can. And but thus far, I was able to change it various times in this event and capture some real cool, stunning shots. And this is how I graded it in Premiere. The feel of the camera after 2 weeks. Again, like I said, I have no rigs with this camera yet or other support. I just have the lens, CFast card, and the batteries. I actually ended up using an old photographic type of handheld rig just to make it more comfortable. Holding the camera on a box shape is very uncomfortable. It's not heavy, but it's just annoying to hold and trying to focus. That gets exhausting after a while. Having a rig and something to hold the camera makes a huge difference. So I'm looking to invest in that eventually. The small body allows me to stow this away real quickly, not having to put it back in a case. If I'm going to be running gun on another shoot, I can just slightly stow it away on the passenger seat and make sure that it's protected somewhat. And it's nicely snug in there, knowing that it's not going to fall or move around inside the car. Editing, I'm a bit limited as my computer is on the older side. The workflow is very slow and frustrating. I'm hesitant to shoot on ProRes, even though I've shot a few of them, and my workflow is really slow. And so it's a drag trying to wait for that thing to render or anything like that. But for the sake of testing, I'm gonna keep moving forward with this, keep testing it out and see how it comes out. Hopefully I get an upgrade on my computer so I can freely edit this as fast as I can. Overall, after 2 weeks of owning this camera, I love it. I love the fact that I transitioned from the mirrorless camera to this, and this gives me more options into shooting different types of flavors, and I'm definitely loving some of the images I've shot thus far. I'm looking to improve. I'm looking to shoot more studio stuff eventually and share with you guys how it looks. shooting this on a green screen this week, and I want to see what kind of flavors I can use that looks good in the green screen. Alright, if you guys have any questions or comments, comment down below. Don't forget to click that like and subscribe. I will see you guys on the next video. Peace!